Everything happens for a reason. Hi friends, welcome back to our channel where we bring you the most amazing stories that will inspire you to live your life to the fullest. Today, I'm going to share with you a story that changed my life forever. It's a story that I often tell people when they're going through tough times in their lives. It's a story that reminds me that no matter how bad things may seem, there is always hope and there is always a reason for everything. The year was 2012 and I was working as a journalist in New York City. I'd always dreamed of being a writer, but I was struggling to make ends meet, and I wasn't sure if my dream would ever come true. One day, I met an elderly gentleman named Joseph. Joseph was a retired teacher who had dedicated his life to helping others. He was the type of person who always saw the good in others, and he never gave up on anyone. I was working on a story about the homeless population in New York City, and Joseph was one of the people I interviewed. He told me his story about how he had become homeless after losing his job and his wife within a few months of each other. I felt so bad for Joseph, and I wanted to help him in any way I could. But I was also struck by his positive attitude and his determination to make the best of his situation. As I continued to work on my story, I couldn't get Joseph off my mind. I thought about his story and his words, and I realized that he was right. Everything happens for a reason. I had been feeling stuck in my own life, and I was struggling to see the purpose in my pain. But as I listened to Joseph's story, I realized that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, and there is always a reason for everything. Joseph's story inspired me to keep going with my writing. I finished my article, and it was published in a major newspaper. The article was a success, and it opened up new opportunities for me as a writer. I was able to land bigger and better assignments, and I was finally able to make a living doing what I loved. But more importantly, I learned that everything happens for a reason. Joseph's story reminded me that even when things are tough, we should never give up. We should keep moving forward, and we should always look for the good in every situation. It's easy to get caught up in the negative, especially when we're going through tough times. But we have a choice. We can choose to focus on the negative, or we can choose to focus on the positive. As I got to know Joseph better, I learned that he had a heart of gold. He was always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need, and he never lost his sense of humor. I learned from Joseph that it's important to be kind and compassionate towards others, especially those who are less fortunate. I also learned that it's important to never give up on your dreams. No matter how difficult things may seem, there is always hope. And I learned that it's important to find the good in every situation, because that's what will get you through the tough times. After our interview, I kept in touch with Joseph. I visited him often, and I brought him food and other necessities. I also helped him to get in touch with various organizations that could provide him with further assistance. It was amazing to see how grateful he was for even the smallest of gestures. One day, I asked Joseph if he would be willing to do an interview with me for my personal blog. I wanted to share his story with the world, and I thought that my platform could help to raise awareness about the plight of the homeless. Joseph agreed, and he shared his story with me. I was moved by his strength and his resilience, and I knew that his story would inspire others. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope that you too will find the strength and the inspiration to keep moving forward no matter what life throws your way.